I went to prison and I was sentenced to 6 years. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It's the same story I give to everybody because it really was the wake up factor was when you go into your cell in Jersey prison, you get given like a foam canvas board to pin your photos to, and it's maybe 1.5 meters wide by 1 meter tall. And when I first get in, I'm receiving letters from all of my my new crowd. Oh, Nick, so sorry what's happening. Because obviously in them circles, and I cringe to look back on it now, but in them circles, knowing the guy that's just gone to jail, the big guy, that's the cool thing. And there's obviously a lot of hype around the first 4 weeks that I went away, being, oh, my mate Nick's gone away, he's X, Y, and Z, and whatever else. So for the first 4 to 6 weeks, say, I'm getting letters from everybody, all my new crowd. They're sending me in pictures, letters. So I've now got this canvas on the wall that I've covered in all these photos that kind of just stem the last 12 months. It's all the champagne parties and the fancy cars and the new circles and pictures in clubs and fancy restaurants. And then about 3-4 months in, everybody starts to drop off. The letters get less and less. And it got to the point where probably by about the 6th month, I then started to have the odd letter drift in from my old parkour friends. One here, one there. And I wrote back, obviously, and it was around that time that I started to come around from the steroid abuse. So they made me go cold turkey in jail, as they would. I was abusing benzodiazepines at the time as well. So they had to wean me off benzodiazepines. So I was taking Valium quite extensively at the time to combat the fact that you can't sleep taking Trenbolone. The amount of drugs that I was taking to counter the side effects of the other drugs that I was taking.
Cycle, yeah.
It was a mess, yeah. So when I got to prison, I had to go cold turkey on the synthetic hormone abuse. They tapered me down on the benzodiazepine abuse, and then by the time I kind of come out the other side, and that withdrawal process was horrific. Crying my eyes out every single day, like just not knowing what to do. So obviously my testosterone levels had flatlined. My estrogen levels were through the roof. So that was quite traumatic, but I'd say it's going to jail at that time is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, during the last kind of 10 years, because the path I was on, I'd have ended up dead or I had a jail sentence 10 times the length that I did get. So I've got this wall now, and I get the odd letter coming through, and I come back and forth with my parkour friends, and every letter I reply to, I'm like, it'd be nice to hear from X, Y, and Z. So I get more, and then they start sending me photos in. And then gradually, and it's not something that even registered with me at the time, I'll take a couple of photos down of the last 12 months of my life, and I'll replace them with my couple that I've been sent in from my free running friends. And for whatever reason, call it a days, maybe it was the antidepressants they had me on at the time, I didn't kind of recognize what was happening until it had happened entirely. And that wall, if you'd have taken the first frame that I'd put up in the first kind of 2 months that I was there, and you put that side by side with the picture board that I had 6 months in, there was not one picture. And all of those photos of the new lifestyle I'd had, they'd all slowly been taken down piece by piece and replaced with pictures of my old free running network, my old really special friends. And because it was quite progressive, and it was steady, I didn't notice that transition until I was lying on my bed one day and I'm looking up and I'm reflecting. I'm like, wow, there's not a single photo on there from when I first come in. And there's probably nobody left from that period who still contacts me, and everybody that I have back in my life again is from the life that I had previous. And that was the, that was the realization for me. That was the wake up moment of, what the fuck have you done, Nick? Like, what's happened the last year and a half? Like, who have you even become? Like, how have you, sure, I was injured and I had reason to be a little bit kind of, a little bit disappointed that I couldn't engage in that anymore. But to go from that extreme to the new extreme that I'd gone to, I was like, I can't ever allow that to happen again. No matter what it costs me, no matter what I've got to do to stay the person that I'd been for the 20 years prior to falling into this trap, I was like, I have to maintain that at all costs. And that was 6 months into my sentence. So I had 2.5 years left after that. And then them first 6 months were entirely necessary. Like I needed that time in jail to go through that process, to go through the agony that the withdrawals were. I needed to suffer to the extent that I did to remember who I was. And that's it's similar to the impact that, the conversation that Danny and I had, that had a similar kind of impact on me of this is the wake up moment now. This is, if you end up in this position again and you lose yourself like this again, you may never come out of it. So, the next 2.5 years that followed while I was still inside was just kind of sat on the bench waiting to get out. Because I'd done the mental arithmetic at that point. I was like, right, I'm me again now. I'm ready to go. And then obviously the realization hits of, well, you've actually got about 1,000 days left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the 2.5 years that kind of followed that point was like, right, when I get out, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reconnect with that previous life that I had, and I am not going to let them go no matter what it costs me. Like, you would have to pry that ethos and that community and the people I have now, you would have to pry them out of my dead fingers. You really would. Like, there is nothing in this world that's worth me losing what I gain from having that community around me. And I'm fortunate in that a lot of the original friends I had forgave me for the person that I become. And some took more time than others. And some of my closest, in fact, probably one of my top 3 best friends today took longer out of any of them. And it took him probably a year after me getting out to be like, that is you, isn't it? You are in there. Yeah, it is actually you. This isn't just like a short thing. You're back. You're really you. And I respect him for making me work that much to get back there. Like, from the contrast that, as I say, I'd have gone from being this pure person to this everything that I detested my entire life. Because, like I said, our entire parkour community was just community. There was no air for materialism or anything like that. We were the complete opposite. So to go to what we'd always kind of seen as the other side, that was terrifying. Not just to myself coming out the other side, but to the people around me, to see me go from what I was to what I then become was, and as I say, I was happy to pay that penance. I was happy to just take that year to, this is me, and I'm going to show you it's me rather than just tell you it's me. So, and I've been in a really good space since then, and it's I wouldn't let that go for anything. I really wouldn't ever again.